All right, Kellen, now we're going to take a look at your butterfly from the underwater side view. Okay, and as we take a look at the fly as you're swimming along, I'm pausing it. I really want you to get an idea of when you're generating your kick. We can just see that it's a lot of knee bend, over knee bend. You want to bend your knees into your kick, but you want it connected to the core, to the body. Um, when I'm looking at your kick on your butterfly, I really see that a lot of the kick is being generated just from the knee down. So you're pushing your kick just down from the knee instead of from the hips and from the core, the lower abs. That's something we got to kind of work on, is trying to get a little more undulation in the stroke and get more power out of it. The other thing I would like to see you change a little bit is you have times when, as you're pulling, and being a breaststroker, I can see how you would kind of interpret the pull the same way. Breaststroke, we definitely want to turn our hands and turn them out into the press. And butterfly, that press is a lot more slight, so we don't want to push outward. So right now, if I'm looking at your hands, they're pushing directly towards the side walls. Okay, we would want that handle turned a little bit more, so that the hands are pulling a little bit back into the side. They're going to widen out a little bit at that point, but they're going to be pulling back and down a little bit more instead of pushing straight out. So just a little bit of a change in terms of how you're starting your pull. You do only do that for a split second, and then you get them turned into the catch, which I like. A little bit wide with the hands. The way we're kind of talking about fly nowadays, those hands shouldn't be this wide. They're kind of outside your elbows. They should be in about 3 inches on each side, so the pull of the stroke is a little straighter. We'll be able to see that a little bit more when I got the front view underwater, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. And then as you're pulling here, you can just see the angle of the forearm, and right now those elbows are kind of dropping back, and we want to get in a position where we're already here. That's where your forearm should be, so that you're higher with the elbow and you're kind of catching that water more with the forearm than you are right now. More of your energy is pushing yourself up, and we want to be pushing forward at this point. So you can just tell that's going to push water not just back but up as well. Then as you get to this point, we'd like to see your hands exit maybe a little further down the leg, but overall not bad. I do like where your eyes are, so as you're swimming the fly, I can see that you're looking straight towards the bottom, so that's a good position to be in. You're not looking forward. That helps with your body position with your hips and keeps them closer to the surface of water, so very good position to be in there, keeping that head nice and low. At this point, would like to see it's a little flat with the stroke, so we talk about an inverted triangle a lot of times with butterflies. Yours, from your hips to your shoulders to your hands, is more like a straight line. We'd like to see just a little deeper, so you press that chest a little deeper and into that part of the catch, and it creates more of a triangle, inverted triangle on your back. We want a little bit more of that on your butterfly. It tends to be a little more flat, and again, I think that's kind of generated out of the kick. So you're kind of generating your kick more from your knees down than from your hips down, from the core down. Coming over, tucking that chin. Good entry. Again, just turning those hands out a little too much. They need to turn out a little bit, but not quite that much as you're going into that press, into the pull. As you come into the breath, again, I think you're pulling a little high, but you can just see here, this is what we call a very exaggerated knee bend, which really kind of goes into the kick being from the knees down rather than from the core. The other thing you can tell, there's a slight unevenness to the kick, and the toes should be more pointed as you're creating that kick there. As we come into the wall, we talked about on the above view. I just think that you come in, you dive in, you lift that head right away. You can just see right there the head's out of the water. Would like to see that. Like to see these knees tucked up a little tighter towards the chest, and see that head still in the water. So the head should be still here. You should be watching these knees come in. These knees should be a little tighter in towards the chest, and they're just a little bit more open. To me, that's lifting the head, creates that, and we want the head down just a little longer through that part of the turn. Feet get on the wall. Nice angle for the feet to get on the wall and to create the streamline. You are crossing your feet. Okay, so what we want to see is your feet are here on the wall. They should be angled up side by side. Your foot's angled here and the other one's stepping behind, so you're kind of crossing the feet before you push off. Again, we want the feet to be side by side, a little bit apart, and angled towards the surface. And then as you come off, you see that gives a twisted kind of push off. You can get a lot more strength in your push off if you're not twisting those legs as you go to push off. Good depth in terms of your push off, so you're getting under the wake. And again, you can just see as you're here, the upper body is really still through the hips and the core. So you got a nice line there, but you're just kind of trying to create the kick out from the knees and not so much from the core. So you shouldn't be lifting the knees forward quite as much. It should be more in the body line. You can just see there's very limited hip motion into that. As you come up into this one, you took a breath on the first stroke this time. Would like to see you not take the breath there. That slows down that breakout stroke. We want to be a little more aggressive with the breakout. And again, you can just see a lot of your fly kicks, and I think it's creating some of those paws out in front are just over exaggerations of the knee bend in terms of the kick. So you can just see this is creating drag here. Water's coming at you underneath your body, and it's getting caught up in your knees. Would like to see the kick happening more on this angle here. Okay, so it's a little less of a knee bend and a little bit more in the body line when you're taking that kick. And yours is just being created from the knees. You're dropping those knees and creating a bigger angle with the knee bend to give a kick forward. We want the knees to bend, but we want them more in line with the body. And a little slight separation with the feet.